You can't trade Kyrie for someone that can't shoot. Okay, so don't mention Ben Simmons in that. And if I was Kyrie, I would just say no to the trade anyway. I'll turn down the contract from Philly and just leave.
If Kyrie goes to Philly, him and Embiid, bruv, under Doc.
I know.
Bruv, that's championship. That's championship. That's championship.
No. So they definitely do well in the playoffs and reach the second round. After that, they might have to fire Doc to go further. So that's
Spartans! What is your profession?
Yes, people, another edition of Knightz and Roundtable Discussions where we discuss all sports all the time. Got my guys, The Truth and Mr. KA with me. How are we doing, people?
We're back, and the hood's back as well. That means the weather's starting to change.
That means he ain't got a haircut, bro.
Damn, I got my haircut, fam. The weather's starting to change.
Man's doing that Lacazette, bro.
Yes, man. I went with
the Reebok Henry haircut. The Reebok Henry haircut, bro.
I'm going for the common look soon. Just gonna have a shave, full beard, the KA look I call it actually. Shining since 1994.
Bruh. that receding started early, bro.
Bro, I'm hanging on for dear life, bro. I'm hanging on for dear life. I'm not ready for that yet. But people, you know what it is. You see the background, you see the red t-shirt, you see Mr. KA in his NBA shirt. You know it's that time, that mythical podcast. Once every 6 months, we get together and it's NBA talk. We're going to be previewing all the stuff that's going on in the NBA. We're going to talk about both the Eastern and Western Conference and all the goings on. We're going to be predicting our MVPs. We're going to be predicting who we think that's going to win the chip this season. All of that good stuff. But before we start, as usual, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Get the likes up, get the subscriptions up, share. As I say all the time, we are here. And don't forget to join our social media pages as well. Links are in the description. Had to rush through that because the amount of stuff that we got to get through in the NBA right now, we're going to have to be trying to condense it as much as we can to get through in that hour. I'm going to start off talking about the champions. Obviously, they're not in my background, but who cares? The Bucks obviously winning the chip last season, beating the Phoenix Suns 4-2 in the end. Truth, I'm going to come to you first. There hasn't been any, I don't think the Bucks have made any trades, any signings of note. It looks like they're going on with the same nucleus that they had from last season.
Someone retire or did someone leave? I can't remember from the Bucks.
Who's that?
I can't remember someone retired or left. I think they're going to the same thing, but I can't remember something. No, I don't think anyone left.
No, not that I can. Not that I saw.
Not that I remember.
No, nothing that I can remember. No one of note, anyway. But do you believe that they can repeat? Can this squad repeat and go and do it again, back-to-back chips with the Greek?
Who's that? Was it PJ Tucker?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
PJ Tucker left for, I did write it down. Really for, what did he do? He's gone to the Heat.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. I remember the top of my head, like one of the important, like he was important to the title run because, he was a great defense. He was a good catch and free throws. The simple answer is no. They can't do it. They can't run it back with the same team. Because this was another anomaly season. I think we're going to have loads of anomaly seasons coming up soon because I think injuries have taken their toll on the entire league. I think, with everything happening with Corona the last few years, teams are up and down. You got Mr. Kyrie, I don't even want to show, but we discuss that later. And we're just going to have loads of drama with stuff happening this year where players are going to be missing through COVID and missing through other reasons, and maybe other people won't want to get vaccinated. Who knows what's going to happen? Maybe another, George Floyd. and then maybe, so much things can happen for the NBA that affects the NBA in such little ways. And I think Bucks benefited last year from being the most consistent team and didn't have much issues. Like, you look at everyone else, they have some kind of issue. Philly, they got Ben Simmons, and don't forget that fraud of their coach. They don't
This
get that
guy.
Doc.
I need to get a t-shirt for the season, a Doc t-shirt, man. Just like, just have one of them masks. Like.
And then also you had Brooklyn with their injury issues, with their Kyrie issues, with their Nash still not knowing what to do issues. So who else? He really disappointed them, but then they were
injuries.
Just
Butler was out for long periods.
They had a hangover from the year before. I think it was a huge hangover. So I actually do expect a decent amount from them this year. Hawks getting to the final, to the conference final. That was out of nowhere. So I do not expect them to run it back, but I do expect an MVP caliber season from Giannis, barring injury.
Fair enough. I think that's been summed up quite well, to be fair. I mean, when you put into consideration Corona, and don't get me wrong, everyone's dealing with the same thing when it comes to that, with the Corona aspect of it. But Mr. KA, you gotta say the Bucks got lucky when they came up against they swept Miami.
Yeah.
Then was it Philly that they came up against?
Brooklyn.
Or Brooklyn, obviously.
It's a toe, the big toe shot.
The big toe, the big toe, because obviously, if that three goes down, KD and the Nets are through, and they had their injuries, and obviously you look at the Western Conference, the Suns getting through, and Bucks having to face them in the finals. So I 100% get what the truth is saying, but with the experience of winning the chip, right? Are the Bucks better prepared this season than last, because they've gone and done it now? They've gotten over the line. The Greek freak has proved all his doubters wrong. So he's going to be on a high. Have they got now the experience to try and navigate so they can go again and win the chip? Or is it, as the truth said, it's just if everybody's fit, they don't look like they're going to get through to win another chip this season?
I think to answer your first point, the experience is a big thing, because once you get that monkey off your back and get your first chip, you just know how things work. You know what it takes. You know that you can do it. So you have that belief. And just like we saw with LeBron and some of the teams that he won with, once he got over that hill, he consistently won or consistently got to the finals. So I think the experience will be a big help. As you said, as you and the truth said, Giannis is in his prime, just come off an MVP finals, and I think he can do it again and get MVP. Yeah, so I agree with the truth. They've lost Tucker, but they've replaced him with Hill, and Hill's a good shooter. Hill will give.
Hill like 72 years old.
But he's a shooter. He's transformed his game into shooting. He's got a high potential of shooting, and it'll give Giannis space on the floor. We never know whether to do his Euro steps or to be pulling up, because he improved the shot a bit. But I think they will do well. I read earlier on that they could have some issues getting free agents because they got to pay Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
So that could, and they got other players are coming into their contract year where they're negotiating a pay. So that could factor in, because then their depth might not be as good as it was last season. But I think they're going to go far. I think it's I don't know about finals. Like last year, I was confident they'd get to the finals, but I think this year they can still get to the conference finals and have a good chance of getting through to the finals again.
No, fair enough. I agree with the both of you. Honestly, I can't sum it up any better than that. I think if every team has their key players, I 100% think the Bucks can get to the semi-finals, and then it's just who they get. I would expect, and
No, I was gonna say also it depends on again how bad they want it, like what kind of route they want to take to the finals. If they want home court advantage, if they want to play the Nets, play Philly, depends on. So I think that's important for their run as well.
And the thing we got to understand is that the reason why I said semi-finals and not finals is, as I said, if everyone's fit, when you look at the East, and we'll mention some of the other teams when we talk about the other two main players in the Eastern Conference. A lot of the teams have ballers. A lot of them have recruited well.
What major players?
The other two major teams in the Eastern Conference. In the Eastern Conference.
And are you talking about the Nets, and the Bulls?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, the Bulls.
You can't be talking about who you're thinking.
The Bulls get honorable mention.
Simmons has turned. He turned up.
Exactly. Mr. KA knows who I'm talking about. Bro.
Simmons turned up. He's like ready to play.
When you look at the East,
is he really trying to play for a team to come and get him?
Exactly.
This is it, and we'll get onto the 76ers because obviously they're one of the other big players in the teams. But when you look at the other teams in the Eastern Conference is getting stronger and stronger in terms of the player depth that they're getting. So it's going to be a difficult one for the Bucks to navigate and get through. Whoever gets through the East, it's not going to be what we normally expect a walkover. They're going to have to work hard for it, but we'll see what happens with the Bucks. We ain't got much to say on them, to be honest, because they haven't really done much, and I think what we expect is what we're going to get. Giannis is going to have an MVP caliber season, even though I think he is still suffering from a hyperextended knee, I do believe, but I don't think he's out for too long. Middleton is Middleton. Drew Holiday is Drew Holiday. And the loss to PJ Tucker is probably the biggest thing that's come out of the box on during the offseason. So we'll see how it starts for them. But we need to move on because this is going to be the team that's probably going to take up the most of this NBA talk. And that is the enigma that is the Brooklyn Nets. Obviously, losing in the conference finals to the Bucks, obviously, as Mr. K mentioned, the big toe. If KD could have just kept that big toe behind the line, Bucks would have been through, but didn't get there in the end. Since then, KD's agreed a 4-year extension for $198 million. Who else have they acquired? Have they acquired anyone? Aldridge came back after attack. Aldridge came back. They got Patty Mills and Paul Millsap as well.
They added some nice shooters there, man. In terms of Patty Mills and Millsap with the experience. Patty Mills was one of our better shooters last year as well.
So the Brooklyn, even though they lost Dinwiddie, because Dinwiddie's gone to, is it the Hawks?
Did he? I thought he went to. He didn't go Pacers, did he?
Nah. Oh, I'll look that up and see where Dinwiddie's gone. But they lost Dinwiddie, but he was injured the whole of last season anyway. Yeah. But Brooklyn Nets, there's only one place to start, and that is with
because I forgot he was part of the not trade, but when they used when Westbrook left, they moved quickly to get in Dinwiddie. Wizards.
Oh, Wizards. Oh, with Beal. Oh, yes, yeah, he played with Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal, ironically, another one that hasn't taken the vaccine. But we're going to talk about Kyrie Irving. I mean, when are we not talking about Kyrie? Mr. The Earth is flat. Mr. I am the guy. Mr. I'm going to play when I want to play, and when I don't want to play, I won't play. Now, to summarize the story, people, Kyrie's come out and said he's not taking the vaccine. Now, if you live in the state of New York, it is mandatory that you have the vaccine for events. So obviously Brooklyn Nets playing in the NBA, you have to be vaccinated to be able to play. Kyrie said he's not having it. Initially, it was said that he would be allowed to practice and then he could play in the away games, some of them, because obviously he couldn't play against the Knicks, and I think Golden State Warriors as well, something along the line. Don't quote me on that second one. Yeah. But now it's come out that the GM for the Brooklyn Nets has basically said that Kyrie will not be partaking in anything to do with the Brooklyn Nets until he has been vaccinated or until he decides to do otherwise, or they trade him. Truth. Look, we all know how we feel about the vaccine, right? We're going to keep it as vague as that because we can't get shut down, right? He's entitled to do whatever it is he wants to do. He's got the free will to do whatever, right? Do you think it's right that the NBA are, even though they haven't, but no, let's not say the NBA. The Brooklyn Nets are basically saying you either take it or you don't play. Do you think it's fair that he's been basically put with this ultimatum?
Free Kyrie. That's going to be my hashtag going forward. Free Kyrie. He's starting to grow on me, you know. Like, the more and more he's being more outlandish, the more and more he's starting to grow on me. So I'm definitely on Kyrie's side with this. I don't think I don't know if it's fair to extend the vaccine into affecting your livelihood. Yes, I know he's still going to get paid, but it's a thing where they're kind of forcing him out if the case is that he has to move to play. And no player really just wants to stay on the sideline in the prime of their career, especially in a championship team. So I don't think they should be extending. Like, I get the reason why they're doing it. Like, it's still to get the virus under control. But I don't know how much I like it extending into affecting someone's livelihood. But I'm with Kyrie on this. You know, they talk about freedom of choice and all that stuff. Then it's his choice not to get it. I don't think that it should affect him getting it that bad, especially if he's, you know, social distancing, if he's taking the correct precautions as well. Because as we know, you know, just because you have the vaccine, it doesn't mean that you can't catch COVID.
I have to try and be neutral here. But you make a valid point, right? The point that I personally agree with. And this is the thing that's been put out there. It's like the vaccine, you get the vaccine and it's all done. And people, it's not the case at all. You can still get it, even if you're double jabbed.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, I'm trying to articulate myself well here because obviously, you know, these people are like, want to lynch me if I say no to the vaccine, bro. Like, you know, these people are already their sheep. But Mr. KA, we got to give the other side of the coin, right? If this were in any other profession, like normal job, right? These are some of the ultimatums that people are being given now for certain companies. It's either you take it or see you later, right? So are the Brooklyn Nets just not doing what everybody else is doing? Why should Kyrie get special treatment just because he's an NBA basketball player? Everything should be the same across the board, no matter what profession. Am I wrong in saying that?
No, I don't. Well, I do think you are kind of wrong because, well, not you, but the people doing it because until government hasn't come out and made it a mandatory law, so these companies taking it upon themselves are, as we talked about, the imposing of your own will. And when you initially signed your contract to work for them, there wasn't anything about I'm not getting paid unless I'm not taking a vaccine. So
100.
this is a mid-game circumstance. Okay,
that's how NBA teams are allowed to get away with it though, because he's still gonna get paid. He just can't play.
Yeah, no, that's it. Well, if they don't mind still playing him, then that's cool. Obviously, that's why they're trying to force a trade because they still have to pay him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he signed his guaranteed money in those sports, so they're gonna lose money either way. But still, they shouldn't, as we've talked about, and as it's been discussed worldwide, the imposing of free will. There's some benefits talked about with the vaccine, and there's things that are a bit shady. So we can leave it at that, and it's up to people's own personal choice, I believe. It's up to people's own personal preference, and they can't force it upon him. So if Kyrie doesn't want to get traded, obviously with the NBA they trade you, but it is a bit sus.
It is 100%. And I said, people, this isn't the vaccine show. So
I think it's just sus as the way that they just kind of like turned its back on him. Because all last year it was all kumbaya, the three big stars, they all came to play together. They chose.
This guy
Now,
was
all of a
saying,
sudden,
this guy was saying, I'm not playing. I'm going to be at parties and not play. And then he's like, look, I don't feel like playing, so I'm not going to play. I got mental health issues. Like, all of a sudden, you know, you say you're not taking the vaccine, boom, you've been dropped. That is mad, isn't it?
Kevin was his boy, bro. Like,
this K, I'm glad you brought out KD because it's been widely reported that KD and Harden co-signed this thing of Kyrie not being able to play. So if you're Kyrie, it's like now everybody's turned their back on you, right? So is it now a point of no return for Kyrie? Because apparently, allegedly, if he gets the vaccine, everything's hunky-dory. They accept him with open arms. But if you're Kyrie, you're like, right, everyone's turned on me. So why would I want to go back to this organization with the way how they've treated me and the fact that the players have also turned their back on me now as well?
yeah, we all saw it with KD and Draymond at Golden State. The guy cussed him out on the court in front of everyone, called him soft in like in a polite way of putting it, and we saw it was never really the same again. So once that sort of kind of trust and that brotherhood is kind of broken, it's hard to get back to that place. So yeah, no, it's gonna be interesting to see how they go forward from now on. And but the thing is, it's gonna be hard to see how it's gonna work with this. He's gonna have to either get, to be honest, not everyone on every team is gonna get vaccinated, so it's gonna be hard to see how they're gonna work around it. Because how can you have social protocols for like half a team or even just two players when like the rest of the team are just like you have to wait for those two people to go through the whole swabs, everything, quarantine for like 5 days or whatever it is, just so that you can train the next day. And it's gonna be so weird. I don't know how I haven't looked into it too much, but it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be interesting to see how they're going to do it. So I do get where they say it has to be one or the other because it does bring a disruption, but at the same time, is that bigger than your own personal life and preferences and choices you're making?
This is it. And the thing is that I'm hearing everyone say,
He's a hypocrite.
Like, or he's a hypocrite, and people. I've heard other people say, I'm doing it for the bag. Like, Reggie, if that's you in it. But some people out here have morals, and there's certain things that they just won't do for the bag, bruv. If you want to do that, that's on you in it. But you can't take the bag with you. You know what I mean? When time's up, time's up. You know what I mean? So you doing it for the money is what it is, isn't it? But we need to move on from the vaccine talk, bro, because everyone's being very diplomatic about how they're talking, bro. Good job two's not on this, bro. It might be something completely different. But let's talk about the Nets as a team, right? If there is no Kyrie, are they still the favorites in the Eastern Conference?
Yes. It's funny. Last season, like, they really played together, but they always played better when it was, two of them playing. Like every game, they just played better when there was only two of them. When there was three of them, it was there's only one ball. Like, there's only one ball, and you see wrong decisions being made all the way throughout. Yeah, and I think they just didn't spend enough time to get that togetherness. But they didn't spend enough time with just two people, because it was always switching to be Harden and KD, Harden and Kyrie, Harden, KD and Kyrie. So it was always like they never got a run going. But when there was two people, I always thought that's when they were the most dangerous, actually. And
I think the three of them only played together 8 times in the whole season.
Yeah, I think their mixed success rate with no, I think they did have a mixed success rate. Mixed success rate with them. But yeah, I don't think losing Kyrie is much of a blow as people think, especially if they were to trade him for someone decent. So don't mention. I said someone decent. You can't trade Kyrie for someone that can't shoot. Okay, so don't mention Ben Simmons in that. And if I was Kyrie, I would just say no to the trade anyway. I'll turn down the contract from Philly and just leave.
If Kyrie goes to Philly, yeah, him and Embiid, bruv, under Doc.
I know
bruv, that's championship. That's championship. That's championship, though.
No. So they definitely do well in the playoffs and reach the second round. After that, they might have to fire Doc to go further. So that's. But that being said, like Kyrie and Embiid, that's a recipe. That's a recipe for success, minus Doc.
This guy, bro. This guy, honestly. Obviously, you look at the Brooklyn Nets. Obviously, KD, Harden, Blake Griffin, Aldridge, Millsap, Patty Mills, as I've said. Yeah, I think they're the favorites, even if Kyrie isn't there. I think Kyrie just puts them over the top, to be honest, as long as they're all healthy. When you have all three, if they stay healthy, it's a done deal. When it's just the two, it's like, yeah, they're still favorites, but you can get at them. And if a team has the nucleus of the squad and they just go ham in that series, they got a good chance against the Brooklyn Nets. So I think no Kyrie makes it a little bit more interesting in the East instead of it being straightforward Brooklyn Nets getting there as long as everybody is healthy. But we'll see what happens with the Brooklyn Nets. We'll see what happens with Kyrie, bruv. Listen, that story's going to roll on and on and on. We'll hear more and more, bruv. Kyrie might be going to space with William Shatner at this rate, bruv. Who knows, bruv? Who knows? But we're going to move on to the other team in the East, bruv. The other big team in the East, Mr. K.A.
MJ Shaitan is back. He's very at the top. Let's talk about it.
Mr. K.A., the Philadelphia 76ers, who's got their own saga. It's not just Kyrie show. Like Ben Simmons basically saying that he weren't coming back. Man was going to give up the pay for a year, not to be at the 76ers. What Doc went on First Take, basically saying that he still wants him, going to bring him back in. Once we can get him back into the room, then it'll be all right. Rich Paul coming out and saying he never knew Daryl Morey was so stubborn. And now we're in a situation where Ben Simmons is back in the office at the 76ers. I think he can train after Friday because I think he needed a second shot of his vaccine or something like that. So he's back at Philly. I know last season, I don't know if Mr. K.A. did, but I know the truth, and I definitely said he needs to go, bruv. Like, he needs to go elsewhere.
No, I think I said it at one point as well. Yeah. I think after that dunk, we were just like, nah, that was too much. It's too much now.
But it looks like, and it could be one or two things. I know you mentioned this off air. It could be either he's basically sat down, had the conversation, and decided he's going to stay, or he's going to play for a trade. Either way, it looks like Simmons is back at the 76ers. The only person they drafted in of note was Andre Drummond. He's the free agent that they got in. What are Philadelphia's prospects this season, Mr. K? What are you expecting with them if Ben Simmons decides to stay?
Fortunately, I think it's just going to be a repeat of the same thing. I think you have to wait until maybe the first 10 games of the season to get a feel Philly, kind of what the temperature is, and see where they can go. Whether Simmons is ready to play, whether he's I can't even say it straight. I can say whether he's improved and worked on things, but it's hard to say because they are relatively coming back as the same team, or the same big names. Like I said, there's one or two additions, but nothing that screams taking them to the next step, like how Bucks did last season, and we were like, oh wow, these are additions that could see him through to the championship. So it's hard to see. I honestly believe we just have to see in the first 10 games or so and see where they're at. It's gonna be hard to see it, to say any different, really, to be honest.
No, fair. I mean, truth, we know how you feel about the 76ers, but they're a frustrating team because they've got the talent, but it seems to be the same old story. Obviously, Ben Simmons can't shoot, and Embiid gets injured, even though he had a good season last season, to be fair. Like, he was in the MVP conversation. People went, Danny Green didn't do anything. Tobias Harris wasn't really about. So it seems like it's the same old story. It's a revolving door with the Philadelphia 76ers. We know how you feel about Doc, but Doc has seemed to talk Ben Simmons round into staying. We don't know that officially. Like, I ain't got the sources like Stephen A and them man there and Woj and all them guys. But can they go on and go a step further than what they have so far?
Before we carry on, guys, I want you guys, you owe me an apology. You owe me the truth to apologize, because you guys were laughing. You had that same smirk on your face, Kay. Don't try to change. You had that same smirk at the start of last season when I said exactly what would happen. I said to a T, not even an angle, not even an angle more, angle less, to a T. I said what 76ers were about. I said you're putting a failure with a failure, and you're gonna get a second round not even an exit, a second round choke job. And that's exactly what happened. I want an apology from the both of you. Can I have that, please?
Mate, I got my popcorn and I'm ready for the soap opera that is Philly, man. So whatever comes of the season, let it be, man.
So you're ready this year. Look, I'm not gonna go against, the facts. I'm not gonna go against what you blatantly see with your own eyes. Doc doesn't like these kind of situations. When the pressure is definitely on him, that's when the boat starts rocking, and he's the first one to jump. He's the first one to throw his people underneath that bus. Poor Embiid, because he did ball his heart out last year. I just don't think he knows there's more to winning a basketball game in the playoffs than just getting 40 points. There's a leadership role that's required, and he doesn't quite have that yet. He doesn't quite have that about him. Like, don't get me wrong, he will be an MVP caliber player, but it takes more than that to be serious contenders for the chip. Doc has to get that monkey off his back. He has to get the monkey off his back. It's that simple. He needs to find a way, if they were to get through, to go into that second round and just be like, look, I'm going to actually do something this year. They need a different they need a different mindset, man.
He needs some like rough riders. Like,
yeah, that's,
as they say, some dogs in the team.
He had that at Clippers so many times. He only won one chip with the Celtics, who had lots of rough riders. So maybe it's just him. Maybe, as I said, to me he's a fraud. I think Embiid needs to leave the 76ers team. Simmons can't shoot. That's just the line. Simmons can't shoot.
And it's that combination as we can't shoot and you've got that weak underbelly.
Bro, it's not he can't shoot. Brother won't even try and shoot. Bro.
That's what I'm saying. We talked about it last season, like the whole mental block, like the weak, the frailty, like combining that with.
It's too much. There's too many things to contend with. Like, there's too many disadvantages that Sixers have to be a serious contender. Their championship is getting to the second round. If they get to the second round, they've had a good season now, because that's what's expected of Doc. That's what's expected of 76ers. I can't expect nothing else from them, to be honest.
But Embiid is hitting his prime. He's coming into the prime ages.
He needs
People
to go.
are talking about him reaching Shaq level, coming into his prime.
Oh,
Better.
the thing is, he's got more
talking
tools.
about it.
He's got more tools than Shaq because he can shoot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For me, he's better than Shaq because he can shoot. When I say better, I only mean the game that he has, because we all know sports is only, about 30% physical, another 10% ability. Rest of it is all mental. Shaq had that winning mentality. Never had a consistent winning mentality, but he did have that winning, I'm going to destroy people mentality. Embiid is getting there. He talks a good game, but to get to that next level, he needs to be doing it in the later part of the playoffs where it is the business time.
No, 100%. And this is it. This is what we need from Philly. Philly need to, because they had a good season in the regular season. They finished, was it first or second that they finished in it? They finished first in the East, didn't it? Yeah. Yeah, so they had a good season last season, so they need to go that next step further and try and get their foot into the finals. But it's gonna be difficult because, as I said, fit Nets. Obviously, you've got the reigning champions, the Bucks, and then when we talk about the other teams, I mean, obviously you mentioned the Chicago Bulls with Lonzo, Caruso, DeMar that they've acquired, and then you've got the Heat with Lowry, Oladipo, and PJ Tucker. Like, the East is going to be very, very difficult. And we're forgetting Miami Heat were the ones that got to the finals season before. So,
it was what's his name, Kellerman, that put them actually up there, either top 3 or top 2 in the East. Heat, just based on the team.
He can cause problems. He can definitely cause problems. And I think, obviously, they got Bam and Butler there already as well. So, like, the Heat are going to be on stuff. And I think the Bulls, if they can gel together along with Zach LaVine, yeah, bro, like, it's looking a bit mad at the moment. But if Mr. KA, who you picking to get out the East?
It's a hard one, as you said. Sorry to cut you off at the end, but like, it is a hard one because you've got Boston they want to prove a point.
Oh yeah, Boston, bro. I didn't even mention Boston.
They want to prove a point. Tatum's an all-star. He's looking to, like, not people forget who he is. You've got Jaylen, Brown up there. You got the Hawks as well. Who's to say that they can't build on what they did last season with Trae Young, like, putting his name out there, saying that, oh, well, Atlanta's got something to we can. But so there's sorry,
where's Kemba? Yeah, where is Kemba?
Where was he last? Where is he gone now? I can't remember. I forgot about him because he did move.
He did move, yeah.
So I can't remember where he's gone to. I feel like it's like a
I think he went Knicks.
No, it's not the Knicks.
I think he went Knicks. I think it was Knicks. Yeah, I think he went Knicks because Knicks was searching for somebody.
Oh yeah. He is the Knicks. Sorry, yeah, he's gone Knicks.
Oh, so that makes the Knicks even better, bruv. Him and what's his name, Robinson, and what's the other you?
He
has gone Knicks. Yeah.
Yeah. So, bruv, even the Knicks are stronger with what's his name? Oh, what's my you that balled out?
Rose, Fournier.
No, not the one that balled out, bruv. Oh,
I know who you're talking about. His name's not on the tip of my tongue.
Randall, Julius Randall.
That's
bruv.
it.
Yeah, putting in with them, man. There, bruv. Knicks, bruv. They could do okay this season as well. Like, look, the East is mad.
Yeah, no, the East is hard. It's hard to.
Now, what? RJ Barrett. They got Mitchell Robinson as well. They're not bad.
Bruv, East is coming up. But K, who you picking coming out of the East, bruv?
It's hard. It's hard to see past Nets. If Nets want to dominate the season, they can do. It's hard, but but we know that Harden and Durant are going to take some time off. Durant, I think more so. So it's a hard call. I'm going with Nets.
Truth.
It depends on how much these teams want it, to be honest. How much they want home court advantage.
I think it's so hard to predict now.
Yeah, it's so hard.
Think about.
Imagine the East was the easiest one back in the day, bro.
Did we even predict the finals right? We didn't predict the finals right last year.
Finals. We all went with Lakers and Nets.
No, as in the conference finals. I think the only team we got right in the conference finals was Bucks.
Yeah, I think Mr. KA said Bucks.
I think I picked Bucks in the finals. Yeah, I picked Bucks in the finals. Okay, I think you picked Bucks in the finals as well. Wait, who did you pick in the conference finals?
Me.
You picked Philly in it.
Yeah.
Both of you picked Philly. Don't give me that now. Both of you picked Philly.
No. I picked Bucks.
KA picked Bucks. I think I said Nets and Philly in the finals.
Yeah. So yes, look how hard it is. We only got one team out of 4 correct last season. So if I have to pick a team right now, I would have to go for Bucks. Just based on them being consistent, nothing else. Brooklyn are too much of an enigma for me to really put my house on them. Don't know what's gonna happen next. People come out and say some transphobic comment and get banned. Like you never know.
But it happened in the NFL actually, where one of them. Did you read about it? One of the managers. His emails got leaked. He was like homophobic, racist, transphobic, everything under the sun was within these emails.
Them man there be watching too much Dave Chappelle, bro. getting themselves in trouble. Truth, where you going?
Yeah. All right, let's should we start talking about the
the
We're last
gonna move
dance.
on. I'm going with the Nets as well. I'm joining Mr. KA. But we need to move on to the West, bruv. We need to move on to the West.
As Chief would have said if he was here, the old people's home that is
Bruv,
the Sunshine State.
The pensioners, bruv.
Sunshine State, bruv.
We have become, like Man United, bruv. Just giving
Sailing
contracts
off into retirement, bruv. It's the last dance. 2022 edition.
Oh man, bruv, listen, the Lakers obviously with LeBron and AD have acquired fucking Westbrook, bruv. Honestly, bruv. Oh my days, fam. Like, you don't know how upset I am, bruv. That's why you can't even see him in my background, bruv, because I'm sitting in front of him on purpose, bruv. Like, we got Mr. KA's boy Mello, bruv.
It was Cooking with Rash started that on his YouTube channel. That rumor, don't listen to him, man.
I don't know where that rumor came from. That's the biggest.
Hey, it's stuck. I don't know. That's your boy. I don't understand about it. Everyone knows.
Rondo's back. Dwight Howard's back, and Trevor Ariza.
For like the 10th time. Like.
Oh my days, bro! Like literally, bro. I swear our average age is like 36, bro. Like, it's ridiculous. But obviously, it's a team that's been acquired to win now. Obviously, we did. Hold on, where did we get to? Where did we get to last season? First round?
Second.
Well, on the first round, isn't it?
Second, yeah, I was about to say second.
Oh wait, first round? No, didn't knock out first round. No, wait. Yeah, first round, they got knocked out.
Yeah, we went out first round to the Suns. To the Suns, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
like for the 4-1, I think it was, or something.
4-1 or something like that, bro. We got absolutely annihilated.
4-2.
4-2.
Yeah. Mr. KA, bruv, the pension is 101, bruv, at LA Lakers right now. What are you expecting from the Lakers in the Western Conference this season?
I'm expecting a slow start and a late finish. and a strong late finish. So I can see them maybe getting no higher than 5th in the West
Really?
because
Raw. I didn't think
yeah,
it was that bad.
no, 5th is. I would say that's still okay. All right, I will say even
Really?
4th. I'll give
Wait,
him maybe
okay.
4th. I'll
So
give
they're
him
gonna
4th.
get a fifth with Clay still not back yet. Kawhi's not gonna be
Clay
back
will be
soon.
back. He'll be back. I don't know when he'll be back. But he'll be back soon in the
No, he's not
next.
soon. It's gonna take a while. Kawhi's not back yet. Murray's not back yet. I don't know how fit Mitchell and Gobert are gonna be when they come back, but it's just Jazz. Am I forgetting anyone?
TJ just said it. The average age is like 36. They're gonna take time. They're gonna load manage
Yeah, but
throughout the season.
they got Mr. Triple Double. They could afford to do that now.
No, but he's not gonna be able to be Mr. Triple Double in that team with AD, with all of them, all the
I don't think
players you
LeBron.
mentioned.
I don't think LeBron needs to play.
Nah, he'll play. They need him to play. They need LeBron to play. They need AD to play, and they need and then Rondo Westbrook is interchangeable.
Oh yeah, Rondo, obviously. Rondo's for playoffs, bro.
Nah,
Carmelo he'll have his random shooting nights where he'll get hot and he'll drop like 25 to 30
look,
in threes.
I'm
But
gonna be honest here. I do not like this Lakers team at all.
it's gonna take a
That
while for them to like actually know how to
Bro,
play
it is going to
that
take a while, bro.
with
We're
Westbrook.
0-5 in preseason right now, bro.
yeah, but I don't take too much of the preseason. In fact, it's actually better than your own fact because last year you had a good preseason and had a horrible start. So preseason doesn't mean much. I don't like the team, but then there's something that in your back of my mind you just think it could work. I don't know what it is. But there's something
Experience. That's the only thing.
This is it, yeah.
I just think they have a good nucleus of ballers that can just get through games, and come players can just get through the playoffs because they've all been there. They've all been
Apart
there.
from Westbrook.
Now he got to the finals with OKC
Yeah, he did
when
get
they,
to the
when,
final.
when they were younger.
Yeah. Bro, that's when he was like 12, bro. Like, you don't remember. He doesn't remember what that feels like. Bro, he just has nightmares about going out in the first round, bro.
Yes, like I personally don't like the makeup of the team, but there's something that's in the back of my head that maybe if they could build a team around AD and AD can finally kick on, he's gonna have a proper preseason. One thing that Lakers struggled with last season was not having a preseason at all. Everyone has time to slowly, get up to speed. COVID's not as rampant as it was, so they don't need to, be doing certain practices off court, watching loads of videos. A lot of them have been training for days. So, as Kay said, I could see them having a slow start and then having a very big finish, especially with the playoffs on. But for me personally, I don't like the makeup of the team.
I just googled, sorry, I just quickly to say it says Klay Thompson is expecting to come back for Christmas is when they're targeting.
That's what I'm saying. It's still a few months out.
No, 100. Like, look, when I look at my Lakers team, I'm just like, bruh, it's just United all over again, bruv. Like, just pensioners galore. And don't get me wrong, I know experience is so important, but I'm just like, bro, like, this team is for this season. It's literally for this season. I don't see these players being in this team next season. So, like, obviously, Melo wants to finally get a ring. Westbrook finally wants to get a ring. Obviously, Rondo's looking to add to his collection. Dwight wants number one. Obviously, AD. LeBum, obviously, trying to get that. What is it? It's going to be 5, isn't it? Yeah, 5. But anyway, like, what is this? 5 in like 62 tries or whatever it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Do you think that hunger will be enough if they were to remain fit to get them to the ring, considering the form and the injuries of other teams?
I think we have a good chance because teams have so many injuries, but I think that all these players in my background could be injured at the same
I was
time.
literally just saying that. You don't think that? I was in my head. Sorry, in my head, I was thinking. You don't
They
think
could
that
all be
2 out of
injured at
3
the
are going
same time, bro. Like, so, and that's my fear. My fear is that none of these guys are going to be healthy come playoff time, apart from probably Westbrook. He's probably the only one because he very rarely gets injured. I think all these other players could be injured at the
And
same
that's what
time.
I said.
Bruv.
You don't think they're going to load manage?
Oh, they're good. They have to load manage. I know we're against it, but bruv, their bones are brittle now. Like any little gust of wind and they're injured. So they have to load manage. It's the only thing they can do. But I think at the same time, with the experience that we can get into the playoffs and get like the 3rd spot in the regular season and get into the playoffs. I think because the game will slow down, it becomes more tactical. I think we've got the experience to go on and try and get to the conference finals at least. I think with this team, with the stars that they have, the conference finals is the minimum requirement for this team. Because as I said, next season, at least 2 of these players won't be there. So it's now or never for these guys. And as I said, LeBron can't afford to not get a ring this season, or else that conversation is dead in the water. Dead. All right. So he has to get this 5th ring and lead these guys to this 5th ring. So it's going to be interesting. Mr. K, I completely agree, but it's going to be frigging hard in the West. But I think if we can get to a decent seed in the regular season and avoid like major spells of long injuries, I think we could do something in the playoffs. Not necessarily going and win the chip, but I think conference finals is the minimum requirement for us going into the season. But yeah, we'll see what happens with the Lakers, bruv. Clippers. Obviously, Kawhi's re-signed. They've acquired Bledsoe and Winslow. What are we saying for the Clippers this season? I mean, Pandemic P got his P back, bro. He's now back to being playoff P again. What do I like now, bro?
There's just another team that you just don't know. Like, it could just unravel so quickly. Like, the whole Kawhi thing is like, it's like you're walking on eggshells around Kawhi. You know, the way he handled his injury, you're thinking, oh, he might be leaving because it reminded you of the San Antonio, and then he resigns, and like, I guess so, because nowhere else can afford him. No one else can take him with his injury. So it's just like, can it all blow up? He's going to be back around March. That's a lot of time.
Is it March?
Is he gonna hit the ground running? Yeah.
What? No, seriously,
is he out for that long?
Till March he's gonna be back properly.
Raw.
Remember, it was a nigga. Remember the reason why he's so angry because it was more serious than they diagnosed it.
Okay.
So obviously he's out. He's gonna be a bit 3 months rehab. So yes, I think by March he'll be back.
Raw, boy. If I would have known that, I wouldn't even mention the Clippers, bruv.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, yeah, they play. Paul George will carry them through to the playoffs. I believe. They got Reggie Jackson and who's that other guy?
They've got a good team. They've got
a good team.
It's just that, as you said, you just don't know them, man. They could implode at any time. It's like, you not seeing Squid Game.
Yeah.
Have you seen it, The Truth?
No.
Well, it's like that game on the bridge.
Yeah.
It's like you can step one side,
yeah,
good. Step the other side. It just takes one wrong step and then it could be over.
This is it.
But no spoilers. Yeah, try not to spoil for anyone who's gonna watch it. But like, that's the Clippers for you, man.
Nah.
And even at the end, and even at the end, it could just still go. And you don't know what stray you could catch.
I'm telling you.
And you don't know what could happen to you. Try not to spoil too much, but you don't know, you could just catch a stray, anything.
Hey, bro. That's gonna really, hey, can you come off the thing? I'm gonna watch that soon.
No, that's it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not gonna say anymore.
Huh?
When did you watch it?
Bro,
What,
I was watching it at work.
Oh, so you literally watched it in the time when me and ST were talking about you.
Yeah, so when after ST and we spoke about it, yeah, I've been watching it, bro. I got through it quite quickly, to be fair. For me,
Yeah, it's only 9 episodes.
It's 9 episodes. Normally for me, yeah, if it's 9 episodes, that takes me at least like 2 months, innit? But because I was so engrossed, bro, I got through in it like a week and a half.
How did you watch it? Did you watch it with English dub or subtitles?
Nah, subtitles. I hate the English dub. I hate the English dub, bro.
It depends on the show, because sometimes with the dub, you can lose in translation what they're saying. You can tell,
this is it.
Like sometimes they're like da 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 da, and you can tell like it will be spelled out in this way. Like, no, that's not really what they were saying, man.
A few moments later.
This guy, but yeah, bro. Clippers obviously no Kawhi till March, bro. So they're not even worth talking about, bro. To be honest, like we'll see what happens when Kawhi comes back. Golden State. We looked at them last season. Steph had a monster season for them last season on his own. Not really much help. And obviously Clay, obviously not back yet, but is due back. I think, what did you say, Truth? Before Christmas or something?
I read 2 places. One said Christmas, one place said November earliest.
Okay,
so
but there's no...
That end of the year, basically.
Yeah, so there's no rush to get him back. Signed Avery Bradley from the Lakers, and Iggy's back at Golden State as well. If Clay comes back in November, I know it's going to take time for him to adjust, but if Steph plays the way how he's been playing last season, do we give Golden State a shot? Because when you look at everybody else, we know what they're about. They're the only team that can do it with the threes, bruv. So do they have a shout of going deep into the playoffs, or is it going to be a case of Clay needs to integrate and they won't really get too far?
Go on, Truth.
I think, you know what it is? First of all, Clay needs to touch that court, because before he even came back last year, he got injured. So he needs to touch down on that court. I think someone was telling me, I was actually having a discussion with my boy, he's like, Clay is the best catch and shoot shooter there has ever been.
Yeah.
No, not bad. No, it's not a bad argument.
Yeah, and I tend to agree with him. And as I said, he's not like Steph. He don't need the ball in his hands. He just needs to catch and
right. When he gets hot, and when he gets hot, he gets hot.
Yes, it's like he gets hot, and that's one thing that won't go away with his injury, especially if he's been in the lab. But for me, what made Clay so devastating for Golden State was his two-way game. He was a very, very good defender. His defense was on point, and that's what made him so effective. Because if he wasn't good on defense, he'd be a liability in it. And Golden State did used to let go at some point because they were relying on just outscoring the other team. So they did need Clay's defense to a huge degree. I want to see how he does going the other way. If he's still got some athleticism about him and he still has that brain defensively, then yes. If not, and you see a Clay that's gone backwards, then no, because the game has evolved in terms of they will target weak links and every team can shoot threes now. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see Clay back, what happens with them. I'm going to be looking at them closely this year.
100%. Mr. KA, any others? Mavs, Trailblazers, Jazz?
Oh, what other team?
Yeah. Any of the other teams?
I think Nuggets have a good chance. We also
Jamal Murray's out for a while,
They I think they handled it okay. Like, it still was a big loss, but I think a lot of people expected them to not do as well as to cope as well. That's a better way of putting it. To cope as well as they did.
But Joker had an MVP season, innit?
This is it, and and he had to step up with Murray being out and put in that MVP performance. We're gonna have to obviously see at the start of the season to see if he would continue where he left off and get off on the right foot. I think they have a good team. They have a good team. Like, there's not many changes, so they can get off to a decent start, and hopefully Murray will come back and then give him that push. in the second half of the season.
100 truth. Mavs, Portland,
I think also
Doncic and
Don't talk
Ports.
Portland. Remember, Portland is not. Remember last season I said Portland Trailblazers. As long as what's his face, Mr. Dame Time, yeah, the way since there'll be time for him to lose another chance to win a ring. Way they
both teams have too much going on. Mavs, there's a thing between Porzingis and our boy, what's his name, Luca.
Bruv, he's coming soon in the gold shirt, bruv.
But Luca is obviously with each year he's getting better. We've seen he's getting that experience. So as you said, without any distractions,
he still needs that guy. Him and Porzingis don't get along.
Do they not?
They here. Remember at the end of last season,
it's that European beef, bruv.
Yeah, Porzingis was upset that Luca seemed that he was playing for himself, and Porzingis wanted to shine a bit more. So, and that's gone into this season where Porzingis isn't happy about his role in the team, compared to Luca. So that's an issue in itself. I think that's going to stop them from doing anything of any value this year. But I don't know who they could trade to make them contenders, because I think they're one player away from being real contenders when you have Luka there. In fact, if they beat Clippers, I could have seen them going far, because I just think no team could handle Luka. Like, I don't think any other team could handle Luka.
But this is it, as you just said though. If they got through, but they were always that one player short of like getting through. They always needed that bit more from someone else.
Yeah, which
to get through. So that was never going to happen. So it's always what ifs with them.
It could have done what they were like one game away twice. No, 3 times, because they went.
Yeah, with the Clippers, because they kept on going. They kept on beating each other.
Yeah.
At the other teams where you expect them to lose, because this team's at home. It's the home team that was losing.
Yeah, and that is not championship quality, mate. You cannot lose multiple home games when you're on the brink of winning. I'm sorry, that's criminal.
Yeah, but it was both teams, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but Clippers was the one that pulled it out in the end. So
this is it. The one we haven't mentioned, we got to the finals yesterday. Suns, bro. What were you expecting from them? Booker, Paul re-signed, Ayton. What were we expecting?
Well, I can only say what I said for Bucks, where it's like you've got that experience. What was you thinking?
I think the same thing. Literally, you just said about.
Okay. Yeah, like
the Suns, like
yeah, you've got that experience. It should be a stepping stone to push you forward. And Booker was turned into an assassin at times. Ayton was having big games. Paul showed how much he wanted it. He got over that hump. He's had a taste of it. Can he get there again? Can he drag them? Because at times he did drag them a couple of times. Like I said, the inexperience started to show, and he had to pull them through and dig deep to somewhere where he hasn't dug deep before and get them over the hump. So he was going to new places. He managed to do it, drag them to the final, and now they've got that belief and hope. Paul's re-signed because they've proved that they could do it. So it's like, yeah, let's run it again.
No, fair enough. Who's coming out the West?
Oof. That's a hard question.
Yeah,
it's so hard.
You know, I've been thinking about it for the past 2 minutes when I've been mentioning these teams.
That's a hard question. Okay.
Do what I did to you 2 seconds ago. That is so hard. There's a lot of teams that have got things to prove, and as we know of NBA, it's not just about talent. Talent will get you far, but you need to dig deep, and you need the storylines of the season to go in your favor. You don't need disruptions. You don't need no soap opera. So it's going to be hard. It's hard to call. It's hard to. I'm
gonna go Lakers to come out the West.
Really?
Like
Yeah,
I
I'm
said,
gonna go Lakers.
I was a bit harsh saying fifth, so I'm giving them fourth, mate. That's the highest.
No,
I'm
I'm
giving.
saying Lakers.
2 years.
Bruv, this team is now or never. So I'm gonna go with they're saying now. I don't think they're gonna win it. I think they're gonna lose in the finals. But I'm gonna say Lakers are gonna come out the West.
I'm gonna say Spurs.
Oh my days, this guy.
Bruv, I swear you lot got nobody, bruv.
We got rid of that poison DeRozan. We're ready for our
And you
title.
lost Patty Mills. Who else have
Bruv,
you got there?
who have you got?
Nah, just full of youngsters. We got the Dejounte Murray. That's it. So I can't.
It's the KA OKC, bruv.
Even okay.
SGA, bruv.
They're a few years away from that. I think they're about 8 years away from getting back to playoff.
Yeah, man. We're still trying to figure out what we're doing with all draft picks.
Oh yeah. It might be the thing where I may just need to default to Suns, like if they stay fit, like
It could be the. I was thinking Suns or Jazz, but I'm like, it depends on, as you said, like the injuries and things like that. Murray can.
This is how difficult it is, bruv. Last season was pretty straightforward, bruv. Now we're struggling.
I'm gonna go with a shot in the dark and say Golden State.
Fair.
I don't know about that, man.
If
He plays back, yeah.
But he ain't coming back until the end of the year.
It's not a bad shout, though.
Yeah, if they get back, because they got Avery Bradley, they got Iguodala, they still got thinking. So they still got their big five from 2015.
Mr. KA, bruv, just back your boy Melo and say Lakers, bruv.
That's not my boy. I don't. It's hard. I'm gonna.
Bro, this isn't countdown, bro.
I'm refraining from answering, man. I'm gonna
ask me again. Have to answer, bro. Give the people Christmas. An answer, bro.
Ask me again in Christmas.
What?
Because you're gonna have the same contenders, but it's gonna be a tough call.
People, Mr. K is back in Melo, bro. He's saying Lakers.
Bruv, if I'm saying Lakers, you might as well tell me I'm saying Portland Trailblazers and Mr.
Dame Time.
Mr. Dame Time with his
K is back in the Nuggets. He wants to say it, but he's waiting to see how long Jamal Murray's out, bro. That's who he's back in.
No one think Timberwolves are gonna have a tilt?
With who? What? With Karl Anthony Towns?
Yeah.
And who?
They got Edwards. They signed. What's that guy's name? That former Laker went Golden State. Russell.
No. 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 But yeah, finally, guys. KA, this is why I said you have to answer the question. Bruv, we haven't seen anything. Who's winning it? Who's winning the chip? I don't know. I'm gonna go Nets just off the bat because, as I said, I don't think Lakers are gonna win that in the final. I'm expecting the Nets and Lakers final with the Nets winning it.
There's so much in the air. I
know.
There's so much. It's all up in the air.
I can feel it. There's something in the air. Come on, bro.
This isn't like the Premier League. Like, this is like, there's so many factors.
Yeah, bruv, there's nothing, bruv. We can always, bruv, we did the same thing last season. We can always change it halfway through.
At this moment in time, I'm going to go with the Bucks still.
Fair. KA.
Yeah, well, that's contradicting everything I said last year. But at this moment in time, just because they're the fittest team and they already won it, I'm going to say Bucks. But it's definitely going to change.
Yeah. Okay, come on, bro.
I'm going with Chicago basketball. Lonzo Ball, Zach
LaVine. Said, Levine, bruv.
Zach LaVine, Lonzo.
Huh? Who? Pelicans?
Because
Zion's out injured, bruv.
He's still injured?
Yeah.
Okay, now that guy's going to kill his career if he doesn't lose weight, man.
I'm telling you, bruv. So we don't need to mention them. Lastly, before we go, guys, who do we think's getting the MVP?
LeBron, man.
I'm going with Giannis.
Definitely Clay. I'm not Clay. Definitely Steph.
Fair. I'm gonna go with Embiid, bruv.
Oh, yeah, I knew he was gonna say Embiid. Don't say Embiid. They've got too many problems, man.
I'm gonna go with Embiid, bruv. I think he's gonna have another big season, bruv, and bring Doc to the promised land, bruv.
I'm going with Giannis. My boy Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Fair enough, guys. Fair enough. People, we gotta wrap up. Obviously, another good one. NBA talk. You know you love it whenever it comes up. We'll see you like during the All-Star season in February.
Nah, Christmas.
100%. But let us know what you think in the comments section. Let us know who you're backing. Are you backing the Bucks? Are you backing the Nets? Are you backing Philly? Let us know. Do you think Ben Simmons should stay at Philly? Do you think Kyrie should stay at the Nets? Trade Kyrie if Kyrie goes to Philly, I mean, that changes the whole dynamic of everything. If Ben Simmons goes to the Brooklyn Nets, like, I just don't know about that. Let us know what you think about the West. Who do you think is going to win? It's one of the ones where we couldn't really decide. We kind of just hedged our bets and chose. Let us know what you think of the West. Is it going to be the Lakers and their pensioners? Is it going to be the Clippers without Kawhi, Golden State, all these other teams, Rob? Let us know what you think about the Miami Heat. Are the Heat going to be a surprise factor with the players that they got? Obviously, Lowry, Oladipo, PJ Tucker, Butler, Bam, all in the same team. Or is it going to, or Phoenix Suns with CP3, Devin Booker, Ayton, are they going to be able to do it again? And let us know who you think is going to be the MVP of the season. We want to hear from you. And as usual, before we go, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Get the likes up, share, get it out there because we are here. I want to say thank you very much to my guys, The Truth and Mr. KA. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Pleasure, man.
Yeah, it's all been good. It's been good.
All good in the hood. People, coming up, 40 Talk will be back. Tooth will finally get his say on Newcastle. He's been
when's it scheduled, or we're not putting out a date so we don't get held to it?
Oh no, 40 Talks going to be out on Friday. That will be out on Friday. So that's fine. It's NBA talk that I don't really like to put out because we can never get it in there. But yeah, Tooth will get his say about Newcastle amongst other things as the Premier League comes back. But people, stay safe out there, and we shall see you very, very soon. Peace.
Peace.